everyone, to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Giving opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower. I'm Captain Mao, and you are watching episode 24 of TWG Podcasts. And if you are watching on the YouTubes, you will notice we have a little bit of a different lineup. But fear not, T-Crawler, Hailstorms, and Weapon 2 will all be back shortly. They had some adulting they had to take care of. But I have recruited two competence people to help me out. One a returning fan favorite and one a guest that we have been waiting to have for a very long time. But first, returning, sir, introduce yourself.
Hello there, I am Kal-El, and I am back to have some more fun with this awesome podcast. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. Great to have you back, sir. And man to my right, introduce yourself.
The right-hand man, kneel before Zod. Oh. You will respect me.
Damn,
I am so excited to be here.
Dude, welcome.
Zod was right. Should have terraformed Earth. It's going to hell in a handbag.
Cheers to that.
We should have.
So happy to be here.
Yeah, we have been trying to get General Zod on the show for quite a while now. We were finally able to make it happen. And this is going to be a great episode because if you couldn't tell by their names, these two are going to be going at it probably the entire podcast. I'm just going to sit back and watch it happen.
You can just go.
Yeah.
I mean, one of you is going to be wrong. Not both. You both can't be right.
Well,
I mean, who won the fight? Right?
Talking about Superman and Zod?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys threw down before you came over. I didn't
Never.
know.
I would never
All
think that guy. He
first
saved
of
me
all,
from one or two.
the tussle in the grass was not fight related.
Oh,
No.
Is that why there were no pants?
We were wasted.
There were pants.
Okay. But yeah.
All above the belt. It's all above the belt.
So
PG-13 today.
it is because we want to check that. Yes, this is for kids.
You mean
no, it's
you get
not.
one F-bomb
We
for
get
PG-13.
We get. Yeah,
But we
one
go two and just go R.
Whoa. It's in my contract.
That you get the F-bomb.
Wait, you're Samuel L.
Unlimited
Jackson?
F-bombs.
Oh shit.
Come on, guys. You know me.
So I'm Vincent Vega?
And okay, guys. So on this episode of the podcast, our top 5 was General Zod's idea. What is our top 5 today? Do tell.
Top 5 IPs that were ruined, decimated, destroyed. Dare I say... I can't even say it. Top 5 IPs that were ruined by their television or movie production. Oh, just ruin your fan base, ruin your legacy.
So
make your authors
take like a book, graphic novel, video game, anything, and then that was adapted to television or film, and the television film adaptation sucked.
It was absolutely terrible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is a good fucking like.
Also,
damn. Well, there's one. Sorry, guys.
We're beating.
So that's the top 5?
Yeah, that's the top.
How
5.
dare you, T-Crawler? Don't even start.
I think we're
we
gonna
gotta
reach
represent.
Deadpool levels of F-bombs,
Probably,
but not
yeah.
necessarily
It's gonna be-
Snakes on a Plane level of F-bombs.
That movie is hilarious.
It is.
It is the funniest, and I don't know that it's on purpose. It is fantastic.
So
though.
serious.
But before we get into the top 5 countdown, we are actually going to get into some news. So we scoured the internets, which is kind of hard because not a lot's happening right now because of everything going on in the world. But there are actually a few things worth talking about. The first thing is that Zack Snyder officially released a clip from the Snyder Cut showing Henry Cavill in that sweet, sexy black suit. Now, if you guys don't know, in the original production of the Justice League, the black suit was actually teased by Henry Cavill on his Instagram. They ended up scrapping that because they wanted to bring back the colorful, hopeful, optimistic Superman. And as you guys know our thoughts on the Justice League and all that, how that whole movie was butchered and became multiple different visions. And anything, it's bad. It's rough. But... We're going to dive a little bit in depth with this, though, because we actually see the suit for the first time. We've seen lots of fan mock-ups and renderings and all that, but we actually see it officially in action. What did you guys think?
It's awesome.
No, okay. So I'm not going to say it.
I tried.
Good impression. Good impression.
Thank you very much.
I caught what you were throwing at me.
I did some hard studying.
You did. All right.
So if you know the premise of the Superman black suit, right? It's what he wears to get better. It's designed to help him recover and come back from the death. So you gotta throw it out there. Like, is it gonna come back for just a little bit of the movie, like that one scene maybe when he talks to Alfred, and that's it? Is it worth it? As far as looks goes, bro,
Oh, it
they
looks great.
nailed
It looks great.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
right?
so the only thing though is comic book accuracy. He doesn't have a cape in the comics, and he has long hair. But this is fine. It's essentially the same suit, just the colors.
Yeah.
But it looks great. I think personally, he should have it for the whole movie. He should come out and keep
Agreed.
it. That's what I think.
That'd be good.
What do you think, Zod?
I
You just want him to stay dead?
I want him to, listen, he's died once. Should have stayed dead. I like the guy with the sledgehammer and the yellow glasses. He was all right. He was a solid Superman. Protect the people. Don't worry about Krypton. No, I'm a big fan of this. This is like getting as an analogy, a more hardcore version of your favorite sports car. If you like a Mustang, this is the GT500. This is a fantastic look. This is a fantastic look, and I love that they teased it. I love that it's coming out. I am all sorts of excited about Zack Snyder saying, this is what my vision was. This is a little teaser of a suit. Here's just the tip. Enjoy it. And then I'm going to sneeze in January.
Yeah.
Okay, but so here's my question to both of you guys. The regular crew on the show has talked this to death, but we're mixed on what we think about this. What do you think about the Snyder cuts of the Justice League in general? What do you think about them releasing this on HBO Max? Like, do you care? Is this too little, too late? What do you think, Cal? Superman fan? Start with you.
Oh, Superman first.
Well,
we got to.
I could not be more excited. I gotta be honest with you. I feel like when you watch the Justice League, if you're a fan like us of comic books, like you're gonna find enjoyment in that movie. Period. It's got your favorite characters. It's got action. It's got good cinematography. Somewhat. Way too much
CGI.
Way too much photography, right? We talked about this. I feel like that's all they care about was like the big shot with the big five and the big shot with the big five and then Wonder Woman's hair like looking perfect. However, to come back and give us what we've been wanting, which is the Snyder cut. Like I think this movie is gonna be so much better because you watch the Justice League and you get that feeling that it's just thrown together by several people.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
There's just no cohesiveness.
Too many chefs.
So am I excited? I'm beyond excited, bro. Is it too little, too late? Never. I think it's never too late to get things right, and I hope anyways that they're gonna get it right. You know, so Zach, you gotta love the fact that he was like, this is not what I wanted to do.
He said he didn't even watch it.
Yeah, he's like, this is not what I intended, and let me just show you what I meant to do with the movie. So yeah, I'm beyond excited.
That is and it's ballsy move from a director from this, hey, this movie's coming out. I don't even like it. Like, no, that's your movie. Like, yeah, not
but it's
not really.
Yeah.
No.
We met once at a bar. It's but I am because it really ties into our topic today because this is a movie that was enjoyable but deserved a redemption arc.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't make the list for me. Well, I'm skipping ahead here, but it doesn't make because it's getting a redo. It's getting like, how many times in your life do you wish your favorite action hero, your favorite comic, your book even, you've read a book that doesn't end right. You've watched an HBO television show that didn't end to your liking.
Spoilers.
So, and now we get a shot like, hey, by the way, I'll do this. And HBO is just in the background like, I'll allow it.
We'll pay for it. Yeah, you go right ahead.
And I said this earlier, like HBO seems like a fight promoter, like a Don King. It's like, we've got Zack Snyder on the right. We've got Warner Brothers on the left. Let's see the showdown on HBO coming January.
And you're right, because Justice League, as the version that we got, was okay.
Yeah.
That movie shouldn't have been just okay. That should have been amazing. That should have been Avengers Endgame. Yes, it should have been fantastic. There's no reason that it shouldn't have.
But it could not.
Okay, but I'm not saying like in terms of topping that movie because it wasn't coming 20 movies later in the universe.
And I feel like we've talked this to death, but it felt exactly like it was. It was rushed. Yeah, it was just rushed.
But
character development, like, you know, if you don't read comics, it was a mess.
But even if you're rushing this movie, if you still allowed Snyder to do what his vision of it would have been, it would have been better because it would have been cohesive, as we talked about. It would have been one person's vision and letting him do it. My only irritation with this whole release the Snyder Cut movement is that, you know, we all loved Man of Steel, and I think we all liked BVS, right? Despite having some flaws. Did you like BVS?
For the sake of this podcast,
if you didn't like BVS, you can say you didn't
there
like
wasn't a Zod, but
you can be honest. Yeah, because he was dead.
I did not. I was frustrated with that movie for many things, but it's mostly nostalgia and a few editing things. There was, if you look at Man of Steel,
phenomenal,
fantastic cinematography. The CGI that was used was integrated with real life shots.
Yep.
So it's like a Mad Max Fury Road situation where the CGI complements it, not the CGI carries
It
it.
never took you out of it.
Any movie, and I'll dare you to change my mind, but any movie you've watched where the CGI carries the movie, it doesn't hold water.
Even
It's like, you enjoy it once, and then you're like, yeah.
But
I'm good.
here's
I would like to challenge Green Lantern.
How dare you?
I hope
out of
that's
this
on your list.
But okay, but you're right. Like
Green speed up.
even CGI that's done well, at a certain point, if everything's on a green screen, it just starts like feel like you're watching a cartoon and takes you out of. Some Marvel movies have that problem.
Yes.
Where you just start to lose your immersion after a while.
Yes.
So yeah, BVS totally had that, especially at the end.
My biggest disappointment of BVS, and I say it every time, was the completely CGI'd Batmobile scene.
Mm-hmm.
And what is one of Batman's basic tenets?
You don't kill.
You don't kill people.
Yeah.
Except when I have a machine chain gun, like a Vulcan cannon,
But,
mounted on the front, and I'm just massacring people.
He was shooting the cars.
Yeah. Oh,
not
they lived.
them.
Oh, they lived.
Yeah, they just went to sleep.
Oh, yeah, they just went to sleep.
But you're illustrating
fishes.
But you're illustrating a good point, though.
Yeah.
You're illustrating the point that I was trying to make, in that, for the most part, I think we were okay with it, right?
Yeah.
We have issues because we're super nerds, and like we have things we don't like that they change from what the comics and the source material were. But Man of Steel, at the very least, is split 50-50 between whether people liked it or didn't. BVS, most people really hated that movie. I've had to defend that movie to a lot of people.
Me included.
Right?
This is why we're here, right?
And so that's actually, it started this entire
It's
channel.
actually an intervention.
Yeah,
We'd like to talk to you.
But my point is, so Zack Snyder did both of those movies. So if you didn't like the first two movies, what makes you think that his vision of Justice League would be anything better at all?
Yeah.
If you didn't like the first two.
But that's the problem. We all like those two movies.
We did, but I'm saying to the
So that's
people
why,
on the
like,
internet that are like demanding this, a lot of them hate those
They're
movies.
counting on our $10. They're trying to get the general populace.
Exactly.
As D&D once said, football fans and soccer moms, they're trying to get them in the theaters, not just the hardcore fans.
Exactly.
And when you have a budget of, let's say, 300 to 600 million, because it was an astronomical budget.
Yeah, it was.
You have to appeal to a mass audience. And what gets you the mass audience? Well, I would say the executives at Warner say a starlit cast, CGI, and advertising, press, advertising.
Yep.
Screw the script, screw the shots, screw the post-editing, which is
so
huge.
edited.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why the director's cut of BVS, the 3-hour cut, way better than the theatrical version. Now it was too long, like way too long, and it dragged on way too much. But there were key plot points in that movie that were strung together and made a lot more sense. Mm-hmm. And some of the editing in the theatrical cut, shit was like moved around chronologically that made no fucking sense until you watched the extended cut, and then you're like, well, this is such a better fucking movie.
Yeah. So which also makes me excited to see the Snyder Cut, because I hope or feel, we don't know the runtime yet, right?
No.
That it's going to be
It's not going to be under 2 hours.
a BVS redemption, but it's going to be not just here's every scene we ever shot, but a edited cohesive movie.
Right.
So with and Justice League, I liked where it was going. I liked the fact that they were, your typical trope of getting the band back together. Let's get everyone together. We have to do these things. The Superman versus everyone at the fucking memorial. Oh,
that was amazing.
F-bomb number 9, I think that was.
But that's
best scene of the movie.
Yeah.
My favorite scene of the movie, and just the slow-mo flash, and it just
yes, that was great.
And you see the look in his eyes, like, I fucked up.
But that's why that movie was
Gangster.
frustrating, because there were so many scenes that were like that, though, that were good, and then like followed by 4 scenes of trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Followed by he's willing to fight Superman,
and Jason Momoa.
Yeah, and then but he wouldn't fight a Bugman. It was just with the weird laser rifle thing. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And then and by the way, the Batmobile crawler is just gonna do a Cylindrome run. What was that about?
That was about selling a toy, sir.
Yes,
that is exactly what that was about.
That was merchandise.
So, but there were definitely highlights to Justice League. So I would like to see more highlights. I mean, when we're all sitting at home and COVID happens for the rest of 2021 as well. Sorry to be negative. When we're all sitting at home doing nothing anyway.
Like to look to the future.
Bleak outlook. Hey, Zod doesn't have a futuristic.
There you go.
I was gonna say that just fits
right
your
up the
name.
alley.
That just fits your name.
We're gonna have the time to watch it, to give it a second try. So I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, we're all gonna watch
Because,
it. Yeah, I mean,
especially because it is coming to HBO or HBO Max. You can do your free 30-day trial, watch it, and then
no,
immediately
7-day
cancel.
trial.
then
7-day
bail
trial.
out.
Yeah, 7-day trial.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's all I need.
7 days.
7 days.
That's all it was. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, canceled immediately.
So I don't have to go to a theater to see it or
Exactly.
anything like that. So I'm for it.
Hey, sir, that was a good segue.
Good segue.
That was a great
Yeah, I
segue,
like it.
actually. I like it. It's almost like you planned
did
that.
homework.
Speaking of segue,
Speaking of segues and releasing a movie at home and not having to go to theaters, Disney is actually breaking week. In our next news story, it was released that Mulan is going to release on Disney Plus, but it is not free for a subscription. You have to shell out $29.99. Probably like $32 after tax.
Yep.
For the movie. Now, they came out and said that you will actually own the movie
Oh.
for as long as you have a subscription service to Disney Plus.
So not really.
So, but basically what this is, like a lot of people are complaining that I have Disney Plus and I should get the movie right away. But you get movies on Disney Plus once they're released on video on demand. So this is in lieu of a theatrical release.
Right.
My argument is if you're going to the movies, if you're paying for more than one ticket, you're probably getting north of $30 anyway.
Yeah.
If you're seeing 3D, IMAX, any of that kind of stuff, you're buying concessions, you're way over $30. I don't think I've gone to the movies for less than $30 in the better part of a decade.
No.
That said, especially this is a Disney movie, so it's going to be geared toward families. So
Right.
for a family of 3, 4, 5, whatever, $30 is way cheaper to watch that at home.
You got 100.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my question is, I posted this on the Facebook page and a lot of people were against this. I think this is a good move. What do you guys think? And do you think moving forward with the COVIDs, should movies like Black Widow follow suit? Because also Bill and Ted, was it the new Bill and Ted? I forget the name of it. The third one is also going to release video on demand. So, and that got moved up to August 28th, actually.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think, Zod?
can I go first, please?
So I said Zod.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What that means.
Can we go
That's
first?
what that means.
One time.
When he says your name, that means you go.
First, I was already preloaded that rebuttal, so I had to just let it fly. Anyways. I was already pre-Karened into this moment of him looking left
Live studio
again.
audience.
So, anyways. Anyways, no, I was originally against it until you dropped that they're actually going to own it. That is something I thought it was going to be $30 for your, like Amazon Prime when
24
Trolls
hours
relax.
already.
Yeah, you get
Right.
24 hours to complete it once you start it. Yada yada yada. It was like $30 seems a bit steep. I agree that in a 2-parent, 2 to 3 kid household, it's cheaper that way. Hopefully, you have a nice theatrical setup, large flat screen TV, maybe some nice speakers. Your popcorn's 30 cents instead of $30.
There's your $30.
So I completely would justify it by that. But for a lot of people who are gonna sit at home and be like, well, it's just me, I'm not gonna pay $30
Right.
to own a movie that I only want to watch once. I'd rather just rent it for $5, $7,
Right.
whatever, just to save me the convenience of going out. So I think Disney, they're not dumb at Disney. They're very good at what they do. They know their target audience.
This is family movie.
Yeah, this is family movie. This is the family movie. It's the only family movie besides Trolls 2 you're going to get this summer. So, but I am more on a personal level, like against it because there's no Mushu. So
Oh, the dragon's not in it?
there's no dragon.
What?
No, live action,
There's
completely
no singing.
serious.
Serious.
Yeah.
But okay, on that note though, like
songs
the movie
are good.
looks good. Like
Oh yeah, I'm sure
I'm-
it is a cinematically well done thing.
Yeah.
No dragon. Come
I
on.
feel like I didn't know that. I'm actually
Yeah.
I thought he would just look real.
No.
I don't know how
No.
they're gonna do that, but
No.
They asked him.
Cal, what do
Yeah.
you think?
So I'm on board with it. I like the idea just based on the fact that when I go to the movies, it's north of $100 for all 4 of us to go watch a movie now. So in that sense, $30 you get to watch it right now, right?
Yeah.
So there's not gonna be a theatrical release. We have to wait God knows how long. So it gives you the opportunity, gives you access to the movie. So I'm excited about that part. What I'm not excited about, or what I'm against, is what you just mentioned. Like, should every movie move in the same direction? So I'll put this out there. Mulan, I don't mind missing it in the big screen. Mm-hmm. I don't. I mean, it's gonna be good. Yeah, good action. Hopefully, like good cinematography. But I don't mind missing that humongous
You don't need the
screen.
theatrical experience for it.
Black Widow, any Star Wars film,
I get it,
any
yeah.
Marvel film, like I want that experience. So in that sense, like, no, I hope that they don't all go that route, right? But for movies like this, I'm totally on board with it, man. Like $30, I get to own it. My kid's gonna want to watch it every other day.
You're gonna get your mileage for sure.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it. So yeah, I'm all game for it. You know?
See, and I think that the way that theaters are going now, with how movies are so front loaded and how way more so than they were even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now more and more, it is the big spectacle action movies that get all the theaters,
right?
That get all the screens and all that. I feel like we were moving more toward lesser budget movies releasing on VOD anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think there will always be the audience for Avenger type
Demographics,
movies
right.
to go to theaters because that's a theatrical experience. I think most people are more with that. I just think this is going to expedite that.
So here's a true story. You know, you guys know I grew up in South America, and it's still to this day. You can go to the movies there for like 2 cents.
Jeez.
That's the price of you going to the movies. So what you have there is the releases are massive, and people go to the movies like every single day, man. Theaters are packed every day. They have, I think it's a penny on Tuesdays. Like Tuesday is a penny to watch anything, new releases, anything goes, and your popcorn is not $30. So I think that's where we've lost ourselves here in the United States. Like it is so expensive anymore to go enjoy a movie. So like people like us, you know, that are not rich, like at least I pick my movies. I'm like, well, I'm not paying $150 to go watch Mulan. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna save it for, you know, like a film that I really want, that I need that impact of the big screen and the enjoyment of being there with the sound is big for me. So like the big sound I just can't get in my house. I don't care how big a speakers
Like
you
Tenet. I want to see Tenet
Yes,
in
Tenet.
a movie theater.
There's no way I'm not
I want to
seeing
see
Tenet.
Nolan in a
You know?
theater,
Yes.
or I will go build a theater and show it in the woods with my buddies. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
No, and I agree with you,
hey,
like-
we would be there.
And there
So-
are, the big problem with that is like how much studios and distributors charge movie theaters per ticket or showing, because they have to recoup. It's kind of like an arms race. Like, well, our bigger budget requires bigger ticket prices because the ticket prices they have to give 90% of the ticket back to the house, and so we only make 10%. So then they have to charge for more popcorn.
Yeah,
so
that's
they can
why
pay for the
that's why your
employees to
popcorn's
clean up
$30,
and pay
right.
for the DTX and theater, because you're trying to get viewers to your theater. So you got to have the DTX and the motion seats and the things, and that's cost money and money and money. Whereas I'm sure I'm not the first person to think of this, and I know it's a Band-Aid solution, but if you could charge, let's say, different pricing for different movies. So maybe, hey, that Kate Hudson movie that comes out around Valentine's Day every year, like, hey, you and your girl can go see this for $7 a ticket. Like, easy, let's go, have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm not like waiting in line paying $14 for the 3D version of Avatar 2. You know,
Maybe they could base that somehow on like the movie's budgets.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if it's
So
under
budget,
$100, under $100 million.
Yeah, and because like each theater is allowed to set their own price, but the distributor could easily just send out, hey, we suggest a price of $15 a ticket.
Right.
We suggest a price of this type thing, and it's like, you know, and if it's because if I'm gonna go watch a low budget indie flick that I really do want to see, and that I probably can only see in a theater, it's like, but I also don't want to pay $14 for an hour and a half low budget movie that costs, you know, 10 to
people
30
just talking
million to make. Dialogue driven. I can watch that at home.
Exactly.
For, you know, wait for it to come out on Netflix. So, and you see a lot of that. I mean, that's why it's also why you see a lot of movie actors moving to television these days, or moving to streaming services like Netflix and Amazon, because they're willing to pay them to make these movies, and because they own all the distribution rights. So there's no middleman or chain of people taking their cut. Like Amazon will get 100% of whatever this movie makes.
It's actually pretty fucking genius.
It's, you know, it fills the void of these, you know, big screen actors who we love seeing that now can't get a role because they're not cast in a Marvel movie, so we don't get to see you anymore. So,
and you're also getting some good flicks.
Yeah, you are.
Good material coming out.
They're
Netflix
greenlighting a lot of stuff. They're greenlighting a lot of bad stuff too, but they're
Hulu's done
greenlighting.
some good stuff. Like they're all
they're all really, really good.
So it's one of those things. Like the free market will balance itself out. But if they could you know, do something like that, I think I'd be interested.
Yeah.
So
me too.
However, I'm paying the $30.
I am not.
You have a 3-year-old. You
She
better
doesn't
pay
know this
those
movie
30.
exists.
You better pay those $30.
That's true. We got to review it, so I'm going to pay for it. But Weapon T said he'll come watch it here. Thanks, buddy. There you go. We'll have a screening. It'd be great.
He'll make a man out of you. Sue us, Disney.
I like it.
Keeping movie-related news, it was announced today that not only is John Wick 5 a go, but it is actually going to film back-to-back with John Wick 4. So, gentlemen, what do we think about this?
For it. I like it very much.
I like it a lot.
I like it.
Yeah, you guys don't.
Yes.
You're not getting fatigued from the franchise, anything like that?
Not at all, man.
None?
John Wick is one of my favorite franchises. I think Keanu Reeves has done a fantastic job bringing it to life.
Me too.
The fight scenes are phenomenal.
Yes.
I really like the homework that he's done on the outside. And I think
Dude,
we
his
talked
training
about this
videos,
before.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
and so
god.
in the past I've attended some of these schools, and I know what it takes, and I know like the strength of the training. And I dig it. Like I know Tom Cruise has done it in the past.
Yeah.
Denzel has done it.
It
in the
makes
past.
you respect the actor and
It
like the work they're putting in,
really
and
does.
appreciate all the
really
stunts
does.
more.
Yeah.
Even Halle Berry, like the training she was doing with the dogs and
Yeah,
shit, was
she jumped
fucking
in.
crazy.
We've reached a point, I think, where stunts are the art.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when
Yeah.
you watch,
It's a
you know,
good
and no
one.
offense, because we all loved him. Like, you go watch Universal Soldier, or go watch, you know, Commando with Schwarzenegger. Great films
Yeah.
for what they did at the time. The big muscly superhero
Yeah. Right.
launches 1,000,000 rounds, kills everybody. The bad guys. You know, we all loved it. But the art form of the, you know, jock muscle action film has changed. So now we're getting, we went, you know, you get the sleek svelte James Bond, and then you get the brute force, you know, Stallone or Schwarzenegger, and now here's this avenue of Keanu. Like, the stunts are art, the cinematography is art, the
Yeah,
acting,
the color palette,
the
everything in that
acting,
movie.
and the it's very raw, it's very visceral. You enjoy the experience, you get your outlet in all the different facets. It's so well done. It fills a role that I think's been abandoned by Hollywood.
Right.
It's not cartoon or stylized violence, nor is it my least favorite cinematic quality, shaky cam.
Yeah,
stunt
agreed.
scenes like Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Let's just shake the cam
You,
lots
you can
so it
see
looks
where
like it's-
everyone is. You understand
Yes.
where everyone
Yeah.
is in the shot, in the frame. Like,
Well, I think it
everyone's
makes it
so well
easier for
trained.
people to identify
Yeah.
with the character because you can. I mean, you know, like you go back to those '90s flicks, right? And you could tell the stunts were in. Like it was so obvious. Every Van Damme movie, you're like,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
He doesn't have a scratch on him.
well,
Right.
and
You know,
like
Wick's beat up.
when you want to talk about immersion, also when you could tell shot for shot which one is the stuntman and which one is him, the
Yeah.
actual actor.
Yeah.
that takes you out. That'll take me out of it as quick as bad CGI.
absolutely, yeah. And so I believe that, you know, these guys doing their homework and diving into the art. And like, if you know Keanu Reeves, like, he's been into martial arts forever. Like I'm a big fan of the guy. The guy's just pretty awesome.
But talking from a story standpoint, though, like for some reason, I really thought they were going to wrap it up with the third movie, and they left it totally open, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the franchise has dipped in quality at all. They're all very, very good. But it is getting bigger, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
world is expanding, and
Right.
things are getting crazier. The action's getting more over the top.
Yeah.
Nowhere near Fast and Furious nonsense. It's still very
Right.
real and grounded. But are we afraid that, because the story that the first movie told was very small, very personal,
It was.
and brutal, and they've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Are we
on and on,
afraid that 4 and 5 are going to get away from what the winning formula was for these first couple movies?
Actually, yes, I am afraid of it.
I've just a little bit.
I've
just
got
a
that,
little
that
bit.
twinge
I got that
back.
hint. Yeah, I got that
So-
hint right here. Like, I hope it doesn't go
They
fast.
can't keep hitting home runs every fucking movie.
Yeah. So I think, you know, because
Saw.
everyone knows the story, the director actually was the Saw. The director actually was the stuntman and stunt coordinator for
Right,
Keanu,
yeah.
and he wrote the script himself, and he believed he wanted a proper stunt-driven film, and knew that Keanu was the actor for it. You know, he believed in it. They believed in it. Small budget, and it was a wild success.
Massive hit. Yeah.
And they're
Incredible,
like,
yeah.
all right, well, and it's just the plot line was very linear. There was no twist. There's no like, I was your
Right.
dad the whole
It was
time.
very
Right,
straightforward.
Your
yeah,
wife's
yeah.
actually alive. You know, nothing like that. They just
Right.
knew this is the linear storyline we want to tell, and they nailed that out of the park. There's nothing.
Well,
wrong.
everything works.
Yeah.
Simple.
There's
Everything
nothing
is
wrong
simple.
with
He's
a
just
perfectly executed.
And every
simple
actor
dish.
was perfect.
Yes.
Like, there's
Yeah.
not like
No,
I
it hasn't been a letdown at all.
No,
so far.
John
That's what I'm
Leguizamo was in
afraid
the
of.
movie for 5 minutes,
and it was great.
and
it was great.
nailed
Stole
it.
every scene he was in.
Right,
Yes.
right, yeah.
Yeah, he nailed it. Like,
That's what I'm afraid of,
Yeah.
to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I'm
That
like,
they're just gonna
I'm
throw-
afraid of the cast going downhill on the 4 and 5.
some
Like,
big wig's gonna come and hey,
At some
I want to be
point.
in on this. I want
At
to be in
some
on this.
point,
Or the
that's
studio's
gonna
gonna be
Throw a
like,
bomb
yeah.
to someone. So
And so
Halle,
that's my fear.
Because Halle Berry, if she put in the work, she did the
And
effort.
that's the thing, and she was great.
yeah,
but
she's
she was a lot of
fantastic.
people's concern though
Yes.
for this third
Yeah,
movie.
but she
hey,
nailed it though.
3 for 3.
And then you know what I also like is like when you look at the movie, she wasn't like a huge part of
She
it.
was in the second act, and that was it.
Yeah,
and that was fine. And it
but
worked.
that was a great balance, though.
Yeah.
And the amount of work she put in for that amount of screen time, like it tells you that people want to be involved with this project.
Yeah.
Right? So you hope that continues on. Am I afraid that it's going to get too big for its own good? Yeah, that happens with every single enterprise, right? You get too big for your own good at some point.
The thing that I am kind of happy about is there's really no reason to film back to back like this, unless, to me, it indicates that they have a greater story planned out, something that they want to tell and they want to do, and they're filming back to back like this. It's not like they're just, oh, did it make money? Cool, let's write another one. No, they actually seem to have a story, and that's what I'm kind of okay with.
So with that, let me ask you this, because this is what I'm thinking, right? Do you think that this is it?
I think 5 is going to be the last one. I think, yeah.
So I think this is the culmination of a great, saga, and they're filming it back to back because they're done with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
That's
4 and
exactly what I
5,
think.
and that's it. However it ends, like we don't
And also,
know, right? But
Keanu Reeves is north of 50, so he can't keep making these for another 10 years.
stop it. Yes,
I get it.
First of all, you're aware of what I said about the Keanu episode.
First
Man
of all,
can and will do anything he wants.
the man
very
is
true.
great, bro.
Keanu 2020 is all I'm begging for.
Yeah. If he runs up, well,
Bill and Ted 2020.
Bill and Ted. Oh, excellence. Bill and Ted 2020. Be
2020.
excellent to each other.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh, who wouldn't vote for that?
God, I would.
Right now.
It'd be great. It would be great.
We'll
But
figure it out. He always does. Who's gonna fuck with John Wick?
no one.
Exactly.
that's what I like about the John Wick, enterprise is like. As complicated as the world of John Wick is getting, it keeps growing and growing and growing. I have to agree
But it
with
makes
you, right?
sense, though.
It makes sense.
makes so much sense.
And the bottom storyline, the basics of it is so basic. It's like John Wick is a bad dude and you don't want to piss him off.
Right.
That's it. And people continue to do that.
And the death of his wife and the dog and all that. Like that 100% of the audience is on board with his
Yeah, the
vengeance.
motivation behind it.
Immediately.
Right,
But everything that they added, even in the second or third movie, every time they added to the world building, I was like, this is a video game world. This is fucking out. There's safe
it's
houses,
okay.
a currency, but it all makes
Oh
sense.
God, you
You're
love that.
okay with
And
it.
they didn't like feature it. It was
just
integrated into
there,
the story.
yeah.
Like, by the way, we have this whole thing. It's like, oh, you check in the
There was- There was no exposition dump.
Yeah,
they never just
led
stopped.
the audience
Like, you
along.
earning the
They
marks
realized
and
that the audience
do
was
it.
smart enough to like enjoy this. They didn't have to
So
explain it
good.
to the
Exactly.
5-year-olds.
Yes. I
So-
like it when a movie doesn't treat me like I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
When's the
great.
game coming out? That's my question.
Never.
That would be a good game.
I will make it.
I would
It's
totally-
called Max Payne.
It is called Max Payne. That's
game
exactly
was
what that is.
awesome.
That was so, the
It
first
was
one. The
so
first
good.
one was so good.
Yes,
That
the
game
slow-mo
was
and you're diving
great.
That was the
through.
first time I ever
Oh,
experienced the slow-mo.
The
slow-mo.
PC
time.
game. The PC game was
Slow
great.
motion for me.
Fantastic. I didn't care for the console.
All right, Zod, I believe you got a news story that you wanted to throw out. did you?
Yes. So as we all know, I picked Zod because he's the only man that gets to actually wrestle around with Henry Cavill, and I'm kind of a fan. So, I'm a fan of white-haired Superman, which is where this is going. The Witcher.
Yes.
Yes.
The Witcher Season 2 begins filming in about a week and a half from now. I've been
Yes.
following it closely on the nets, guys, for a long time. I'm your resident Witcher expert. I've read all the books twice. I've watched the series 3 times. I've played The Witcher 3 I don't know how many times. I should have just bought an Xbox and played The Witcher 3 and no other games because that's all I do anyways. It's like I don't know why I own anything else. So that being said, very excited about the season 2 happening. There are more cast members coming along. There's more story. And Netflix, you could tell with season 1, and I'll be critical of season 1 because a lot of people didn't get the timeline following along. And if you had read the books, and I hate being that guy, the books are, but we're actually gonna do a top 5 of the books. You read the books. So
That's what we're
prepare
doing,
for
right?
a whole other hour of the
You
books
read?
are better.
Ew.
Ew, the books. But I get what Lauren Histrick, sorry if I butcher her name, Histrick, she's the showrunner of it. She's basically better than D&D in every way. She was the showrunner for Daredevil on Netflix, which we can all appreciate how well that was done.
Yeah, best superhero show ever.
So
good.
as you can tell, I'm critical of The Witcher season 1 because of some of the, I would say, practical effects. So there wasn't a whole lot of special. There was, a special effect dragon that I wasn't too thrilled about. But you could tell that they were restrained by budget.
Yes,
and
very much
they
so.
really blew their wad on Henry Cavill, as so many of our fan members would probably like to do. So, and then like everyone else kind of filled in the gaps, and they had an 8-episode treatment. And season 2, because if you look at the books,
you read
the first 2 books are non-linear. They're short stories, but they're short stories all about the Witcher going on adventures. Story 1 is, with the dragon. Story 2, and there's they really only covered about half the stories from both of those books. So really a quarter of the stories.
There's a lot of books though, right?
There's like 8.
Damn.
Yeah. Ooh. There's even like the last book was published in Polish because the author Andrzej Sapkowski is Polish, and the last book was published in Polish, like they all are, and it wasn't translated to English. So you either had to like wait, or some super fan out there translated everything by hand from Polish to English, and then saved it as a PDF file, and then uploaded it onto the internet.
Wow! Bravo to that guy.
Which I did not read because that might be piracy, but it is fantastic.
But it's so good.
Back and it's like because it wraps up in 7.
But I think it's really good.
And
You've
book
been told.
8 brings it back around.
You got a guy that said that.
I know a guy who knows a guy
who read it and told you.
Fell off a truck.
Yeah. Ask your lawyer. I advise you.
So a lot of the elements from the series or from the show are actually like starting in book 3. And what I liked was they incorporated, because you have to have the overarching plot line for modern television. You just do to have the cliffhangers, keep the audience in. That it wasn't just, Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, this episode.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Do not insult friend of the show, Kevin Sorbo, and Hercules, the legendary
huge
journeys.
Fan.
Yes.
Loved you on Dharma and Greg.
Huge fan.
Huge fan.
Call the Conqueror didn't suck.
Anyways, so they had to incorporate a lot of elements to keep that storyline going. But in season 2, they saw it was a success. So they upped the budget. We're going to see better practical effects. They're changing the armor. They're going to see better CGI effects, and we're going to see more of the short stories involving Geralt by himself, retconning back in the day before all this stuff went down. And I'm very excited, and I forget his name. He was the red-headed northern guy on Game of Thrones.
Torment
Giantsbane. He is going to be in The Witcher season 2.
Yes.
So if that isn't enough that you need to watch the show, you should.
You should, yeah.
So wrapping up my rant on that, now more Witcher news is they're going to, because of the success of the show, because I watched all of the episodes for all time, and so they just said, there's a million episodes. Like, that was just me. There's a million viewings.
There's a million views. 500,000.
I just leave it on loop so they know that they need to make more.
Whenever you're ready, guys.
So they're also coming out with a prequel to The Witcher.
Right.
Blood Origins, I believe. I could be screwing that up because I've had a few of these special guest mugs. But it's set...
Weapon 2 is not here. Someone has to drink.
It's set 1,200 years in the past. So dealing with how all of these people, both the elves and the dwarves and the humans and all of the magical monsters that Geralt has to kill, even ended up on this world together. Because originally they all lived on separate Earths, and through this thing called the Conjunction of the Spheres, which is kind of like the realms kind of all aligning at once, people were able to pass through them. Think of Narnia and
the closet.
I got through that. Or think of in a Stephen King novel, like in the Dark Tower series, where he talks about passing through the Finny, through between worlds. So you can there's actually multiple versions of this world, or the multiverse if you're a Marvel fan. So all of that kind of happened, and things intertwined to like, hey, these things are not supposed to be on our planet, so we have to create this species called a Witcher to help fight them. And 1,200 years later, we get Geralt in a bathtub.
See, okay, so myself personally, haven't read any of the books, although I do have the first book loaded up on my... I have not. I have the audiobook loaded up. I'm totally going to listen to it. I'm interested. So the show was my first exposure to this. I never played the games. When I started the show, I then started playing The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I have not finished the game because the game is fucking massive. It's insane. So big. It's good, though. And it was funny because I was watching the show and playing the game simultaneously. And the more I would do in one, the more it would get me into the other. So it just was a circle of just this vicious cycle of Witcher, and I got really into it. Now, the show, I will say, I'm a huge Henry Cavill fan. Yeah. Right? I thought he was fantastic. I liked everything about it. My knock on it is exactly what you said, the visuals. Yeah. You could tell, especially when the dragon shows up, you could be like, oh, okay, well, they don't got a Game of Thrones budget. No. Like, you could tell. Yeah. And there are some of the other practical effects, too. Like, you could tell they didn't have the money, and you could kind of tell. And so the timeline thing, There were some parts where I was a little confused, and I just figured, okay, there's something going on in universe and world that I just don't understand. I'm not one of those that gets discouraged and thinks he missed something.
Yeah.
But then when it all came together, I was like, oh, fuck. All right. Like, that's really cool. It made me get more into it. So I left the show, the end of the first season, wanting to know more about this universe, more about the Witchers, about how they were created, about all of this. So the fact that the prequel is going to, like, explore all that got me way more on board.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Cal?
Yes. Like, seriously, that was like a half an hour rambling.
I know. I'm sorry.
We're 40 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten out of the first segment yet.
You couldn't tell. Zod's not excited about this at all. No, I'll keep it short. I'm excited about it. I'm a huge Henry Cavill fan for the Superman series, but I also like him in everything he's done, man.
Yeah,
I think he was great in Mission Impossible.
He was great as Theseus.
I think he was great. Yeah, he's like the kid. So the kid's evolving.
He's great at World of Warcraft.
He's a gamer.
He's a nerd.
He's a gamer.
He just built his own PC.
I'll just say this, Henry. I know you watch the show. You fit in.
Yeah, you do. If you ever want to come, just just shoot us an email.
Give me a call.
Yeah.
Give me a text.
Don't mess with this guy.
A little texty text.
Give me a call.
A little texty text. That's fine. You can talk to Cal and send me Affleck's number. Send me Affleck's number.
Superman.
It's not like I'm wearing your name. Anyways,
I'm the one wearing your shirt. Just saying.
Your name. Seriously, watch the first episode. I had your shirt too, and a beanie. Anyways, I'm super excited about it. I haven't read the books because I'm not a reader, but I just it's my second language, so give me a break.
Give you all the breaks, bro.
But I'm with you with this. The more I read the books, like I actually just downloaded the game Witcher 3. I started playing it and I got excited. And the more I watch the show, the more I want to play the game. The more I play the game, the more I want to watch the show again.
Vicious cycle.
And it gets you involved and it gets you interested. So I'm excited to see the prequel and get the understanding of what it comes from, because that's what I was missing from the show. If you don't know, if you haven't read the books, if you don't have anything, like you know that the Witchers are bad asses and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no very clear like explanation.
My takeaway is
what
that they were
are
super soldiers basically made through magic.
Right, but you're guessing.
Yeah, I'm totally.
That's my point.
Yeah,
so we're guessing. There's no explanation
to
it, right? So like if you're not a fan of it, and people like us run into this often, I think, where we like something, we dive hard into.
Yeah, we want to know everything about the lore
right?
and the world, and like we want to know.
And so for us to go watch a show like that or to watch a movie like that, like it's very easy to get into. It's very easy to get it. That's why we all like Batman versus Superman. That's why we all can appreciate Justice League, even though it was jacked up. It's because we're super fans.
Yeah.
Right.
So at the same time, it's hard for us to get into that mindset of like get into the place of the people that are not super fans.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have no idea. They're coming in to watch a film or watch a series, and they're like, yeah, that's really cool, but what is it? Like, what are you?
And so that's a great example. That's how, so as we talked about before with Batman versus Superman, I like that movie. What made me realize that it's not a good movie, even though I like it, was how many times I had to explain it to people, including my girlfriend, and I would break down what this scene meant, what that scene meant, what this was, and they were always just like, well, that's fucking awesome. That's super cool. That's great. But
you wish they knew that.
But the thing is, like, you shouldn't have to know the source material to get that. If I have to explain it, then the movie didn't do its job telling a story.
Then you're missing something. And that's
a valid point.
And so that's the problem.
And to be honest with you, that's how I feel about The Witcher. Great series. I enjoyed the crap out of it. I want more of it.
Yeah.
But I get something.
Yeah, I get how if you're a super fan.
So I'm super excited about the prequel because it's going to bring that all into context.
It was
and as an insider, person like I said who's delved deep, like read all the material, even stuff.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
it's
you were
just
a fan.
you see these characters pop on screen, like I know everything about them as soon as they walk on the screen, like I know who that is, so I don't need the backstory, the explanation. And there's also, but as a fan, there's some things like they get introduced and you're like, well, they're not supposed to be here yet,
right?
Yeah, but they're also kind of getting there's a whole lot of source material, and we don't know if we're going to get 8 seasons to cover 8 books. The upside is they have the completed 8 books, unlike
some things
somebody
on the table
else.
But that could also, being a super fan, could also like work against you though, because you could have in your head a certain way things need to go or should go. So when it deviates, for me personally, like Preacher was a good example. That was a great show, but it was very hard for me to get into it because I love the graphic novel so much.
You know all about it.
It was so hard. And they changed a lot for the show, but it worked for the show. It was just so hard for me to get into the fact that they were changing it. Once I got past it, it was fine.
And I think that's what our top 5 dives into. If you're not a fan, then there is no
no
no letdown, right?
Yeah.
You go watch a movie, that was okay. But it's not a major, massive disappointment unless you're a big fan that you know
then you're going to
everything
take
about
umbrage.
it. And so I also feel like I have to bring this up. Like and I've always felt this way. Being a director, a producer, or a writer for a graphic novel is the toughest job out there. Because you have the world to conquer that doesn't know anything about these characters.
And a rabid fan base.
And that's easy. That's pretty easy. You make a good action film, you're right there. But if you screw it up, bro, you have the toughest fan base just coming right after you. X-Men, for example. Like people wanted to murder those guys, right?
Justifiably so.
So it's a tough job, man.
It is
a tough job for sure.
It is, unless your source material is Spider-Man and you just reboot it. And reboot it.
Sorry, 10 years. That didn't work. Reboot.
Sorry, Crawler, but you keep getting new IPs.
Or
and we don't.
That's
why you're not on the show today.
Or
Spider-Man.
We don't need to let Cal talk anymore. That's fine. He's done with
Bat.
the show.
Or the Bat.
It's fine.
Yeah, like
The Bat.
But
rebooting the Bat.
but that was
Batman with the
legitimately.
nipples or Batman with the...
I like Clooney. The little head bob. He did the head bob. The head bob was cool.
You know he's a vampire now, right?
You don't get out of here. That was the longest
Vampire.
news segment we have ever had, but probably the most entertaining. That was the news. I don't think we got anything else.
No.
No? Anything else? No? All right.
Moving on.
Let's move on to the top 5 countdown.
Were we going to talk about The Boys?
Oh.
Or Umbrella Academy?
We are still on the news. It's going to be a long episode.
Were we going to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So.
But did you say that, though?
Yeah.
I didn't say we were going to talk about that.
But
We can't talk about
we
that.
could.
I
Yeah, I mean-
it's my show. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
I do want to talk about it.
the missing,
But I haven't seen Umbrella Academy all of season 2 yet. So
the
we can't-
missing Cuban was the one that brought that up. The boys.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not representing Dick Crawford.
So here's the thing. Umbrella Academy season 2 is out.
Yes.
No spoilers. I'm only on episode 4.
I'm on episode 2.
Okay.
I've
You
watched them
finished
all.
it.
Yes.
So no spoilers. What are your thoughts on season 2 versus season 1?
Without spoilers, it is a great continuation of season 1. I enjoyed season 1 more, but that's not knocking season 2.
I feel it. Yeah.
So I really think season 1 knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
You got everything from, you got your sci-fi fix, you got your character development, you got your intrigue and your drama, you got your fight scenes that were well done, you had good writing, you had good acting, and then you get to season 2 and same actors, very good writing, very good acting, very good set, time, location background.
Yeah.
For a lot of the characters, and very poignant at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, like almost uncomfortably so.
Almost like they knew.
Almost,
like
that was,
like they could travel through time.
Yeah, it was a little too on the nose.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So very happy about that.
They have 5.
That being said, I thought that a lot of it was kind of chaotic and rushed in the beginning to give you that sense of urgency, and then it kind of lulled in the middle. Whereas in the first season, they were able to go into character development because we've never seen these characters before. I didn't read any comic books or anything like that.
No.
So you get all the character backgrounds, and it kind of slows the pace down in a good rhythmic way, and then the characters actually develop together while explaining their backgrounds and their horrible childhoods.
And it ran.
And then in season 2, you already have that info. So how do we fill that, gap?
The gap,
And
right.
so, I'm without spoiling, there's just so much going on.
Yeah, for me so far, it seems to be showing what they were up to.
Yeah.
Not spoiling anything.
Yeah. So, but I highly recommend it. If you liked season 1, you're going to like season 2. Just because it's not as good doesn't mean it isn't good.
Right. No, I feel like the point I'm at, I'm very much enjoying it. I'm digging it. It's, you forget because with Netflix, like all of us, we binge the series or the season real quick. So then you don't watch it for a year unless you binge it right before, which I didn't. So it was cool because all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, I'm like hanging out with these friends that I haven't seen in a while. And like I'm having a good time. And also, I will say though, season 1 at this point had hooked me more, but again, it's not a knock to this. I'm into the story. I'm enjoying the story that they're telling me, and I'm enjoying these characters. The characters and everybody on the show is fantastic. So yeah, I'm
Same
definitely
thing.
enjoying
And
it.
the reason why I'm only on episode 2 is my daughter actually has that rule. Like before we start binge watching,
You gotta watch season 1.
She's like, okay, we gotta watch season 1. So like for Stranger Things, we gotta watch 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I actually dig it, man. Like
No,
I
it's
think,
cool.
I
You
think
get
that she
refreshed,
makes
yeah.
us do that because it actually you relive it, and when you start the new season, you're like,
Yeah.
you're not missing a beat, right? And I've done it in the past where I start new seasons without watching the last one for a year or two, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like, I kind of have to like.
That is what kind of sucks though, because you'll see something like, oh yeah, that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you do this, like, you know, it's like Mariana, good job. If she makes us watch at least the last episode of the last season, and she's like, let's watch at least the last episode before we start, you know, diving into the new stuff. So
also, the recap for season 1 was clever. The way that they did it for
It really was.
It was
I
really
liked it,
immediately. I was like, oh yeah, this show. This is a fun show. Like,
and you get it right away. You're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like you catch up. Yeah.
And the soundtrack, by the way, still
oh my
still
God.
on point.
Like
ridiculously good.
So
good.
What Suicide Squad wishes it was with the soundtrack.
Oh, that just.
All right, so another news item: The Boys season 2 full official trailer dropped. Zod and I have read the graphic novels and have seen season 1. Cal has not done either. He watched the first episode.
I just couldn't get into it.
So tell us why you're wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, like, so
Live studio audience is shaking her head right now.
she is. So
Also, live studio audience.
when I first got here, I was told that I was wrong, which happens a lot in my life.
You would stop being so wrong.
So they gave me some background on the film. I will tell you what happened. I came.
I see the problem now.
Home from work. I was really tired, if I remember correctly, and my wife said, I have a new series that we need to watch, and I said, okay, cool. And she popped the episode in, and again, I was really tired, and I was like, okay, this is a mock on superheroes, and there was a lot of parts that were like really effed up.
Yeah,
And I was
very graphic.
I feel
And
like if
the
you don't know
last-
what you're getting into, it would be jarring.
Right, and the last scene of that first episode, I was like, yeah, I'm not cool with this, like, and I'm out. And I told my wife, I said, I'm out, and she's like, it's supposed to be really good, honey. Like you should know better than this. And I was like, no, I'm checked out. And so today, before I came to the show, I told her, I was like, ooh. Like, there's an item that they're talking about that I don't know anything about. And she goes, what is it? And I go, The Boys. And she almost slapped me. She goes, that's the series that I told you to watch with me there.
I told you.
And so,
it.
So,
I love your wife.
I think, yeah.
She's great. We love her.
Yeah.
Fan of
So,
the show.
she can make, she make a great.
Yeah, it is very graphic if you're not knowing what you're getting into, because you're like, they're doing that? They're actually doing that? It can be, like, it's jarring and graphic. Even my wife she tapped out, because she was watching it with me, and ironically, it was a scene you wouldn't expect. I don't know if we can spoil season 1. It's been a minute. I don't know.
Fuck
I
it, go
feel
for
like
it.
that's okay.
There was a
do it.
scene with the Aquaman
Spoilers.
character, whatever.
The dolphin?
Yeah. No, not the dolphin.
Oh,
where the hand in the
Oh my
gills
God,
thing.
that was so
And
uncomfortable.
She's just like, I'm out.
Oh.
I was like, I'll see it through.
I'll stay.
No, that hurts. It's just the pinky.
Yeah, that
goes,
scene was like,
stay.
it was like, of all the other messed up things, that's what tapped out.
God, that was awesome.
And they was just, and once again, kudos to the showrunners and developers, writers, directors, cinematographers, because that was their intent.
Yeah.
And they really we want to make you uncomfortable with this scene, because this is an uncomfortable scene. Like, hey, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. And I'm super excited about season 2. If you've read the graphic novels, you know what's coming with season 2. It's very exciting.
If you read the books, there you go again.
If you
This one.
Well,
He's
you
that guy. He's
but
that
this
guy.
is about IP
If
done
you
right.
didn't know,
right.
that
And
is
so-
the
and so here's
theme
the
of
thing.
today's
So-
episode.
Before the show started, we were
Boots.
talking to Cal and we were telling him that it is meant to be a deconstruction of the superhero genre. And probably the best example of it, this side of Watchmen.
Yeah.
So, and it's a more modern take on it, with corporations and celebrity and all that kind of stuff. So, again, if you didn't know what you were getting into, you just watched this cold, you would be like, what in the hell am I watching?
Yeah, and I was really tired. Like I said, I didn't give it a good honest chance. And but to update the audience, I've made a deal with Cap, and I'm gonna watch that, and he's gonna watch The Men in the High Castle.
Yeah, it's gonna be good times.
Yeah.
And I think if you give it a legit go, now that you kind of have an idea of what it is,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna. I'm predicting getting a text message 4 episodes in, like, dude, I freaking love this. That's what's gonna
Probably.
happen.
And then I'll have to tell my wife she was right. So thanks for that in advance.
You're welcome.
You should tell her that.
Just get used to
anyways,
saying that. Yeah,
'cause she is right.
I say that a lot, actually.
But what am I gonna watch?
we'll find some stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'll probably just reread The Richer. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Totally fine.
I think we're done with the news.
Oh,
Okay, we're done with the news.
Are we done with the news? We might be
That
done with
only
this.
took
Okay.
like 20 minutes tops.
An hour.
Part
Don't
2.
update.
All right, so I break this episode.
We knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, we did actually.
We're going to keep talking about this after the camera's off.
We are. This is gonna be good times.
Probably.
All right.
Deep dive.
Right.
Deep dive.
But that was the news. Thank you for sticking with it. I think that was an entertaining news segment, though.
It was.
We nailed it.
Director's cut.
Yeah, this is the director's cut. This is the Snyder. This is the Snyder cut, motherfucker.
Everything. It's turtles all the way down. It's just, time is a wheel.
Oh wow. Time is a wheel.
Time is a construct. It is a flat circle.
Love
Whatever.
it.
Nietzsche, I feel you.
Ka is a wheel, which will be mentioned later.